I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the problem with back in the day, even when our, whether you live in Canada or the U.S., even when some of the very early established governments were formed in Canada, the U.S., the legislature or governing bodies, they only met and come together a couple times in the fucking course of an entire year because even back then, nobody had this fucking thing where they just felt like they have to fucking create laws to dictate and dominate and control the lives of the citizens within that particular geographical boundary on a regular fucking basis. They understood how important personal freedoms were for the most part. Now, they were opportunities in some ways, but they at least understood instinctively people aren't going to put up with this shit. But look at in Canada, century and a half later of being a fully formed country, look how far we've come. Look at how far we have fallen. And it only happens as a result of the education system, indoctrination, and the constant pounding of conformity in your head to accept the religion of state as something that even is philosophically true or the basis for how humans cohabitate and coexist in this country. That's how fucking sad and scary it is. But once again, National Post, Ottawa suggests banning smoking in apartments or condos and cigarette sales to anyone under 21. So once again, I mean, even with the cigarette smoking, yes, when you get into children, like I was totally even with 18. We come with some stupid arbitrary number. I don't even agree with arbitrary numbers because some kids could be much more mature at 16 as 18. But if you got to pick a fucking number out of the sky, right? Although like I say, why can't parents, like to me, there shouldn't be no government law that tells you can't allow kids to smoke. It should be up to parents, their community, their neighbors, their friends, their aunts, uncles. There are enough people around children all the time that would have the ability, a lot more than some central planning fuckstick in government, to properly give guidance in a lot better way too, other than using force, right? Or locking them in cages or making them have to work for like slave wages, right? Because if you have to pay a fine, if that fine's $200 and you make $10 an hour, well, you've had to work 20 fucking hours. Well, that's without even taking taxes out of it. But you've had to work a substantial amount of hours just to pay that off. In reality, people might pay a fine, but they'll still continue on the bad act if it doesn't present enough of a financial disincentive for them to do so. So it's not even a proper way in that manner. But to even now get to the point where this is the pretense too. When you buy a home, and people that are buying houses in especially the major urban centers in Canada, look at the fucking retarded, overvalued speculative prices and massively. They're not even based on any genuine economic fundamentals. But look how much people are willing to pay for the home, only to have now some fucking asshole in Ottawa suggest that, oh, you want to smoke in your own house that you just paid $1.5 million for? Nah, I'm going to write on a piece of paper that you're not allowed. think about that. Think about what kind of indignity. I wonder why the Canadian people, their psychology is so demeaning to them, and they're so sheepish. That's why Americans and even Germans the Germans have had that shit beat out of them. They used to think they were a supreme race. They used to have self-respect and dignity until some fucking asshole idiot named Hitler, went too far with that, destroyed everything about it, and now they've had to go back, and now they're regressing back into where they feel like they don't even have any. They should just, like I said, it's destroyed even. Well, I guess there's still some underlying aspects of that German, we're great kind of people fundamentals. Americans did it best, man. The founding fathers did things so well. Yes, they left that small window of opportunity for collectivists and opportunists because they still said, okay, there is some small, we're going to leave the pretense of government, the religion of the state, but we're going to say we're going to limit that state. We're going to limit the religion. We're going to limit our deity. That was their biggest philosophical mistake. But fast forward even past then. If to get to the point that in 2017 we live in a modern era, in a modern age, where people feel emboldened enough by using the coercive entity, aka government, as a means to tell other people that you're not allowed to do what you want in the comfort of your own home. When things are bad, Rome is burning. The empire is falling. All right? Things are getting pretty perilous at the point when you've reached the stage where people feel that they are emboldened enough to put, even in an establishment media outlet such as the National Post, where they can put forth, where they feel emboldened enough to tell people what they can and can't do as far as smoking in their own home. I mean, think of how disgusting that is. I'm not even going to get into reading the article. It's not a very long article. I'll put a link to this article in the description of the video. It's by Tom Blackwell. But yeah, no Canada. And I mean, there's many. I mean, I could have a list that could probably scroll for a couple minutes on my page of just kind of ridiculous bullshit laws that have been introduced and have been used against the people to suppress and squash their freedoms. It's been happening at a rampant pace, and that pace seems to have only gotten exponentially quicker now. They seem, like I say, they seem so emboldened. They feel like they feel emboldened enough to tell people what to do with every aspect of their life. Is that really what freedom represents to you? Because I'll tell you, it has nothing to do with freedom as far as I'm concerned. It's Canadian Libertarian. I love liberty.